Hey, hello. Once again, I'm back with another prediction video, and as you can see, it's pretty hot here. So you get a little, you know, little skin from me this time. Anyway, let's start. Oh yeah, one more good news. One good news that I have is that now I can upload longer videos than before, so they don't have to be 15 minutes max. So that's good. Now I can talk as much as I want. Really. Well, not as much as I want. I can talk for like 45 minutes, but at least 20 minutes, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's start then. Uh, this weekend we don't have so many fights to cover, but there are some good fights at least. Some interesting matchups, and the first one is between Diego Gabriel Chavez and Jorge Daniel Miranda, who is in this lesser known Argentinian fighter. And Chavez, you all know, of course. And his last fight, he hasn't fought since December 2014 when he drew against Timothy Bradley Jr., which was pro- probably his best effort, really, or his best result so far. I wonder why he hasn't fought last year. I don't know. Anyway, this should be a quite easy fight for him, I think, and he has already faced this guy before, this guy Miranda, and he knocked him out in the third round. So now, since he has been away for a while, I think he will take a little bit more too, but he will knock him out, I think, again. So I predicted a fifth round knockout for Chavez. Yeah, this guy he's interesting. He has some qualities. He's obviously a quality fighter because people criticized Thurman back in 2013 when he kind of struggled against him, or it took him 10 rounds to stop him. But it was because now everybody sees. I think that it was because Chavez is good. He is that good. So and that was his first big fight. So he's only gotten better since then. And I hope we will see more of him in the future in the welterweight division, yeah, which is growing ever stronger. And okay, then the next fight that I'm going to talk about, well, it's a minor fight. It's Delvin Rodriguez, the veteran, who's fighting against Sean Cameron. And Delvin Rodriguez, he has his career has been back and forth, as many ups as downs, and he's a tough customer, of course. He has been stopped twice, once early in his career by Jesse Feliciano in the 8th round, and once by Miguel Cotto. But that one, with Cotto, I think that's what I think was suspicious, that he managed to stop a tough guy like Rodriguez so easily. I think Cotto might be on some kind of drug, something illegal anyway, because how he managed to go up to the middleweight division and destroy uh, Martinez, even if he was, you know, at the end of his career. But anyway, I think anyway in this fight, uh, Rodriguez is by far the more experienced fighter, even though he's only older by 2 years. But Cameron, he started late. His professional debut came at 30 years of age almost, and he has only 11 fights. So I think Rodriguez, he will win this fight on points, I think. I don't know enough about Cameron really, but he lost his last fight to a guy who was undefeated on points. But anyway, Delvin, he's not that big puncher at super welterweight, shall we call it. So yeah, well, he can hit, but I think these guys, it will most likely go the distance because it is also a 10 round fight. So yeah, and then we have this well, somewhat interesting fight at middleweight between the Japanese, undefeated Japanese Ryota Murata and George Taduanipa, a Native American. So this is an interesting matchup, not least because Taduanipa has a lot more fights than Murata, but the level of his opposition, the people he beat, were not that good, and he lost in his only real tests, and that one was to Delvin Rodriguez, who stopped him in the 6th round, and the other one was to Patrick Nielsen, who stopped him in the 8th last year. And Patrick Nielsen doesn't usually stop people who are world class, So Taduanipa is a kind of a fast, herky-jerky, tricky fighter, but he's kind of he's kind of small for his I don't know. He looks kind of smallish for his division because he now fights at super middleweight. But this fight is at middleweight, so I think Murata will win because he has shown himself really, to be really good so far, and he has the power, and he has the style, I think, to beat Taduanipa. All these guys who beat him are come forward, pressure fighters, and yeah, I think because Taduanipa has been stopped on both occasions when he faced a little better fighters, that also Murata will stop him in the 7th round. So that's my prediction. And then we have a good, really exciting talent from Ukraine, Alexander Gvozdyk, the light heavyweight puncher, who is facing Tommy Karpency, who is a kind of, a trial horse, we can call him. But there is no doubt in my mind that Gvozdyk is the big favorite here for sure, and he should be able to knock out Karpency really quite quick, because in his last fight he destroyed Najib Mohammedi, who I think is at least a little better fighter than Karpency, and so I predicted a 3rd round knockout for Alexander Gvozdyk. Yeah, and then we have another quite exciting fight, because uh, guy that I once thought was looked very good, like the future star. It's Leonardo Zaparinha or Lenny Z from Australia. He's fighting the Chinese Ik Yang. It's a welterweight fight, and Zaparinha, he was first a lightweight, of course, and he beat Ji Hoon Kim by first round knockout. He was the only one to knock him out in one round. And well, this guy Ik Yang, he has been super. He's a super lightweight, a light welterweight usually, but he's fighting at this fight at welterweight. It's in Las Vegas, and Zaparinha has since losing 2 fights in a row to Miguel Vasquez and big puncher Ahmed Diaz. He has been winning all his fights and most of them by knockout. So he's won like 9 fights in a row now. And I think it will be too much for Young, and it will be a good fight as long as it lasts. It will be competitive, but I think eventually Zaparinha will overpower Young and stop him in the 8th round or perhaps the 9th, somewhere in the early late rounds or late middle rounds. And yeah, I look forward. If Zaparinha wins this, then he should start getting better fights, because it's a shame, he was brought up too fast back then in 2011 against Vasquez, and in Vasquez, of course, he's a tricky fighter, a difficult fighter to beat, especially then. And then he was taken out by Ahmed Diaz, a really, heavy-handed guy. And then, it kind of slowed down. It stopped his rise, his climb to the top, you know, to the top of the the hill. And so since then he has been fighting mostly lesser fighters, and but he has been impressive in all those fights. So I hope he can win here, win good, and then show himself, and then get a even better fight soon. Yeah, because I had high hopes for him. And then the next fight, yeah, this one also is kind of good, between Jose Benavides and Francisco Santana. And Benavides is undefeated, while Santana is not. But Santana also is, a good fighter. But Benavides, he beat Mauricio Herrera in December 2014, and he also beat Jorge Paez Jr. last year by TKO 12. And he's 24-0. He's a very tall light welterweight at 5'11". And Francisco Santana, he lost to Saddam Ali and Jermel Charlo and Karim Mayfield twice. So that's not really something to be ashamed of. He is not a really big puncher, and he beat Joaquim Alcin and Freddy Hernandez also. were both solid fighters, especially then in 2013, and well, not unseen fight. So, but I think Benavides, he is of course the favorite, but I think this fight will go the distance most likely. Yeah, so I favor Benavides to win on points. And then we have Oscar Valdez, the new featherweight star on the horizon, who is also undefeated. And he's fighting this lesser known guy who is called Matias Carlos Adrian Rueda, who is also undefeated, but he's well, he hasn't really shown himself. He's from Argentina, so you know how it is there. You know, it's like in Mexico they fight like they have quite padded records, their fighters, so you never know if they are really that good as their record looks, or if they are just fought a bunch of cab drivers, as Greg Hogan would say. Anyway, I picked Valdez to win by a 5th round TKO because in his last fight he stopped Yevgeny Gradovich in the 4th round, so I kind of think it will be around about the same result. I doubt that this guy, what's his name again, Rueda will do a lot better. But you never know, of course. He may turn out to be really good, and Argentinian fighters are tough, usually. But I think it will be, I don't think it will go the distance. It's 12 rounds and it's for a vacant WBO featherweight title, so. And then finally the big fight between Terence Crawford and Victor Postol. And this one was, one I really had trouble picking the result, and yeah, it will be, I think, a very close fight and a very good one, very eventful. A lot of punches will be thrown, and of course Postol is the taller fighter, and he has that jab and the reach advantage. But Crawford is a little harder puncher, and he can box. And when he fights from his left southpaw stance, he's really difficult to defend against. Yeah. So, but I think this fight will go the distance because Postol has shown himself as nothing but excellent so far. And of course, he stopped Lucas Matisse, in his last fight, and he's been fighting now for 9 years professionally. He's 32 years old, and he's not a puncher. I mean, not usually. He wears most of his victims out first and then stops them. While Crawford, he can do it earlier. He's not Crawford is not this big concussive puncher like someone like, I don't know, Tommy Hearns was, for instance, but he still can hit, and yeah. He has beaten some good guys. He hasn't yet beaten, I mean, apart from Gamboa, who was fighting above his best weight. He hasn't really beaten anyone great. I mean, really good so far. So this is a big test for him also. But I think he will, because it's in America, and I think if it goes the distance, which I think it will most likely will, then Crawford will get the decision, right? So that's why my my prediction is Crawford by split decision, because I think it will be a really close fight. So one that the experts and commentators will argue about for days afterwards. Yeah, so that was all for now. This was an extra long video, the first one in I hope many to come. So yeah, I wish you a pleasant afternoon. So bye bye.